Okay, cool. Hello. Hey guys. I know I haven't been active kind of anywhere in like ages. I do apologize for that. Everything's been a bit intense recently. I'm in the process of moving house. So that's why you don't see me with my usual setup. And you kind of won't see me with my usual setup, you know, me sat by the window and everything ever again, probably, unless it takes ages for us to move, which probably won't. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Touch wood. That didn't sound like wood, but still. Hey, I decided to pop on here, make a little video for you guys. You know, I thought you might want to hear my thoughts and opinions, which, you know, normally people don't really want that, but you guys, my subscribers, you kind of do like to hear that sometimes. So I thought, you know, why not give you guys what you are after, what you guys would want, and yeah. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing that I kind of want to talk about is a tweet that went up recently that I quote retweeted. Let me bring it up for everyone, or for me, so then I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically I quote retweeted a tweet that Chess24 posted, which was a quote from Garry Kasparov, who basically said, "I have to apologise time and time again. It's not exactly the title I had, or Karpov had, or Fischer, or Magnus." And that was him on Gukesh during the Grand Chess Tour. So I quote retweeted it because, you know, I had to get my opinion out there. I said, "It sucks to see this rhetoric so much because yes, Gukesh isn't number one in the world by ELO, but he is world champion. And as much as some people want to make out that Gukesh's world champion title means any less because he isn't world number one, they are dead wrong." Which I still stand by, okay? Now, I kind of see time and time again so many people that kind of like bash Gukesh online, and it frustrates me so much. Like, it's one of those things where people try to sort of downplay his achievements and everything. A lot of the time it's actually by chess players themselves as well. Like, Magnus is a real sort of perpetrator of this. He does it all the time. And I think that's why people get the impression that I don't like Magnus, because I quite often will then go, bro, like, Magnus is at it again, like, he's mad. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Magnus Carlsen. I think we can all understand that. And if you are a great fan of Magnus Carlsen, then great, you enjoy him. Me, however, on the other hand, I'm not a big fan. Okay, back to the matter at hand though. So with the whole thing, there was a tweet, like, as always, there sort of seems to be something that comes out. There's a championship or there's an event, a tournament, and somebody sort of says, "Oh, well, Gukesh isn't going to do very well. He isn't in great form. You know, I think it's going to be really easy to beat him," over this type of stuff. And then Gukesh comes out, plays the tournament, absolutely bashes that person. It's absolutely beautiful. And then the person's like, "Yeah, I take back my words. I kind of have to eat them up." That always makes me smile because, one, I just don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand the hate that Gukesh gets. I mean, like, for goodness sake, he's the youngest world chess champion that we have ever in classical chess. Apart from in rapid obviously goes to Nuribek Abdusattorov. But yeah, he's like the world champion, and he is the future of chess. And I'm, you know, not just saying that lightly. I mean, him and a lot of the young Indian players, as we've been saying for years, are the future of chess. And I hope that they beat Magnus Carlsen's records. Yeah. I really hope that, like, one of them comes out and they sort of, like, you know, absolutely thrash the current top rating in the world that Magnus has had. Simply because, I mean, I obviously, I understand that Magnus has popularised chess and everything in a lot of the Western world. You know, quite often on TikTok or something, there will be something in relation to Hikaru or in relation to Magnus. And it's all sort of based on the same thing of, you know, people are like, "Oh my goodness, these are like the best chess players ever." And like, you know, they're so amazing, and people will make like Chad edits of Magnus Carlsen, which I would have loved to have never had to say that in my life, but unfortunately that is how the cookie crumbles. I would say this is my job. It's not my job, but it is my hobby to report on this type of thing for you guys, so I got your back. And yeah, I would just, you know, obviously in India and everything, everyone, I mean, a lot of the chess fans and everything will, you know, absolutely love Gukesh and Prag, and, you know, some of the other younger players like Arjun Gaisi, that type of thing, and Nihal Sarin. And for me, it's frustrating to sort of see so much focus be on Magnus and Hikaru, for example, when these players are playing some amazing chess. And it's obvious that they're playing some amazing chess, and they're not getting much appreciation for it. I think that, you know, as we're sort of like moving on in life and in the sort of chess calendar and everything, I would absolutely love to have Gukesh win one of the world championships that we have coming up towards the end of the year. So either the Blitz or the Rapid. I would absolutely love it. There's just, on my end, for them, like, I don't know, if Gukesh, for example, if he went and he won the World Blitz Chess Championship this year, and he was not only World Blitz Champion, but also the general World Chess Champion, that would be so incredibly peak. That would be, like, incredible. And not only just because, like, then he'd be, you know, at least a double world champion at the same time, you know, incredible achievement, but also the fact that it would then mean that he would be taking away a title from Magnus / Jan Nepomniachtchi. It would be great. You know, I mean, I have that video up about how to rig a World Chess Championship, which I will link below if you haven't seen it yet. And, you know, that whole saga, completely ridiculous. I didn't understand it at all. Well, I did understand it. I understand that from my point of view and from other people's point of views, Magnus seems to have a bit of an ego and a bit of this thing about being world champion in at least one thing, to the point in which he creates tournaments or championships, which FIDE then go ahead and disagree with. And this is not me saying I like FIDE. I do not. I think that there is a lot of issues with the company. Yeah, which then FIDE have to then go and tell him, no, like, you can't do it as a world championship. I'm really sorry. And he is almost seeming to be creating these tournaments and these championships in order to then make sure that he can, you know, keep a title. So it's like, what were they calling it? Freestyle chess instead of like Fischer Random. So it was like things like that. They were doing freestyle chess tournament, which I'm pretty sure Vincent Keimer won the first part of that. I think that was a while ago. I haven't really been keeping up with it in general, just because I think it's kind of boring. I do not like Fischer Random chess. I do not. I think it's probably because, you know, I'm used to sort of theory in relation to normal classical chess or rapid. Those are my two sort of favourite time controls. Rather than having that sort of unpredictability, because in my end, if I'm watching someone play rapid or classical, I can sort of sit there and understand as to why they're doing certain moves, as to why they're doing, you know, certain things. I can sit there and I can understand it, whereas if I'm watching Fischer Random, I will sit there and I will go, yeah, I have no clue what's going on. Which, completely fair enough, you know. I'm sure a lot of us are all in the same boat in relation to that. But that's also why I don't like Blitz as much. I do like Blitz, don't get me wrong. Love Blitz, to play it myself. However, as well, if I'm watching a Blitz tournament, like the World Blitz Chess Championship, when it comes to the end of the year, I would much rather watch the rapid section. I mean, I will obviously watch the Blitz as well, but with the rapid, at least you can actually sit there, and if there's a move that you don't understand at all, you're sat there and you're like, yeah, no, I actually don't get that, then at least, like, you've got David Howell or whoever you're watching, just, that's, like, sat there on the stream explaining as to why they're doing these moves and sort of planning out ahead, and then you on your end or my end, for example, can then go, oh no, that makes sense because then they're gonna do this move, blah 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 blah, rather than the whole thing with, you know, there being a lack of understanding because they're making these a lot of the time high quality moves in Blitz that I do not understand because it's going too fast. So that's just an issue on my end, but that's just an explanation as to why I don't like Blitz as much. But back to the matter at hand. Gukesh, my goat. I actually have a really bad habit of doing that. I have a bad habit of calling every single person my goat. Okay, so I call people at my work my goats the entire time, like every day. They'll do something for me, I'll be like, you're my goat. I need to maybe stop that. People have called me out for this on Twitter before. A lot of the time, I haven't been doing much jinxing recently, which great, because I haven't been saying my opinions on who I think should win certain things. Beautiful. But I have been like quote retweeting after, you know, a certain person will win a tournament, and I'll be putting, oh my god, my goat, Gukesh my goat, Vincent Keimer my goat, like that type of thing. It's getting to a bad habit. But it does sort of mean that I'm actually showing my support for them, even if it's, you know, in the case of everyone being my greatest of all time. I don't know. I think it's fun. It's a way to sort of show my support for these people, even if they're not my favourite players. But I am calling them the greatest of all time. Listen, in my head it makes sense. It doesn't matter to anyone else if it doesn't make sense. Who is my favourite player, you're asking? Oh my gosh, I would love to tell you. It's Jan-Krzysztof Duda. Yep, it's Jan-Krzysztof Duda. That's my actual GOAT, okay? Now, what's my prediction for the next World Chess Championship? Like, who's going to be going against Gukesh? I hear you asking. My answer to that is I have absolutely no clue. No clue at all. There is no thought in my head that goes, yeah, this person's gonna win it, or gonna win the candidates, and then gonna go ahead and win against Gukesh. Not a clue. However, I hope if for some incredibly crazy reason, if Magnus, for example, then was like, yeah, you know what, I want to go ahead and do this, I'm going to go ahead against Gukesh, I would say time after time I would be voting on Gukesh to win. I would love to see Gukesh beat Magnus Carlsen in a World Chess Championship. And am I biased? Yes, because I have met Gukesh and I haven't met Magnus Carlsen. But to be fair, when I met Gukesh, absolutely lovely. He signed my chessboard. I would show it to you. However, it is in a box. And yeah, it was great. And I missed going to chess tournaments. But hey, we get there eventually. And if there's any chess players that would like to be interviewed by me, you know, hit me up, or I'll hit you up. Please don't ignore me. Or please don't say that you'll do an interview with me and then not reply. Oh, hello. Okay, so that sort of seems to be the end of that. Love you guys. You guys are my goats, exactly. If you liked what you saw, leave a little like, leave a little comment. I will be reading them. I read all of my comments. I would also love for you guys to hit the little subscribe and notifications so then you guys can see when I next make an upload. You can also follow me at my social medias, which is all linked in the description. And I hope you guys have a fantastic and lovely rest of your day. Okay, bye!